I'm not 100% against data centers. I'm against the centralized ownership of data centers and the corporate greed that comes with wanting to build data centers all over the fucking place in disregard of our water supplies and our food and all of this shit. I'm not against data centers 100% because I understand why they're needed, why cloud computing is needed. And this may be a revolutionary thought, but I believe that the data centers should be owned by the people. In the same way that public libraries are owned by the people. They should be a public benefit all the way around the board. Private data centers are usually used to serve corporate interests and demands over the public interest, period. And because we live in a capitalistic society, it's the corporate profits that are going to determine what the purpose of the data centers are for, overriding the public benefit. The classic profit over people motherfucking monologue. And of course, the people, usually people that look like me, people of color, are going to be the ones that are going to be bearing the burden of these fucking corporate interests. All for the power to be condensed and consolidated in a few companies, tech companies, whether it be fucking Google or whoever the fuck. And this means that, like all fucking monopolies, they're going to control the pricing, accessibility, who has access to the motherfucker, and who is actually in control of the data. And this further entrenches us as a society to depend on these motherfuckers for their services, right? The issue is that because these data centers are going to be used for corporate interests, like endless fucking AI scaling, and which AI isn't inherently bad. That's a topic for another video. But also to further like the advancement of addictive platform algorithms and shit and mass surveillance, when these data centers can be used for hospitals and shit and public services and local business hosting and fucking education and emergency systems and civic data and fucking community internet. Imagine fucking that. Imagine us having a community internet in every fucking neighborhood, just like we have a community fucking library. Here's the thought. Digital public infrastructure. How about that for a fucking thought? Why? Because data centers should be used by the people who are going to be affected by them the most. They should be used to provide secure, affordable, and locally accountable digital infrastructure for the people who fucking live in that area where they're built. Imagine the local accountability. Residents voting on the board members, the policies, the pricing, the privacy standards, the energy sourcing, where they're going to source the energy to power these data centers, and the expansion of these data centers. People, the local people get to decide where they're going to be built at. Imagine the data sovereignty that comes with this, where the community data is owned by the people, stays under local control, community governance, instead of being controlled by someone in Silicon Valley and shit. And what does this mean in the context of a just transition when we're talking about energy justice? Because as we know, the energy infrastructure of our country historically has affected people of color the most, with them having the least of a say in how this energy is produced and or delivered. So these data centers can be and should be tied to community solar, community wind, community energy, battery storage, waste heat reuse, strict energy budgets, shit like this. And it gives people, the community, affordable access to these data centers, small businesses, local artists, churches, nonprofits, schools, mutual aid groups could get hosting, storage without the big tech companies' pricing traps. And most of all, it keeps the fucking money in the community. It keeps the local wealth in the community. Instead of cloud bills leaving the community, revenue could actually fund digital literacy, youth tech training, and energy upgrades, and public services, and things for the public benefit. I'm not saying that we should do away with all fucking privately owned data centers. What I am saying is that these privately owned data centers, if they're gonna be built in communities, they better fucking have a community benefit agreement in place. But I am saying that there should be community owned data centers. Using community owned data centers for public interest and local workloads while limiting extractive private data center expansion through regulation, public benefit requirements, and energy accountability. That's what I feel and I believe that the future of data centers could look like, should look like. Is it a revolutionary idea? Maybe. It very well may be. But I think that a community digital utility might be a good idea, if not necessary idea. Being that our society has moved into digital dependency now more than ever, we have to have a say in this transition. The people have to have a say in this transition. That's where I'm coming from. So it's not fuck data centers. It's the people should own the data centers. And if the private corporations want to build data centers, they better have a fucking community benefit agreement in place that benefits the community.